Yeah. Hi, welcome to Delicate Dark Girl. We are back extremely close to my face once more in front of that door. You know what that means? So today, there are phrases again. So today we are going to be talking about a palette I like to use. Little Fairy Tales. I'll just get closer later. Little Fairy Tales by MOIRA. It's an eyeshadow palette, but it is an ultimate blush palette and highlight palette. 6 blushes. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blushes and 1, 2, 3, 4 highlights. And today is the day I will be showing you the placement of each and how I use them. I will be back with a fully made face, and then we will get into the blush. What's this thing for people? We're going to start with, I would say we're going to start with the nude blushes first. So we're going to take a tiny little brush. It's not tiny. We're going to take a large brush bottom, and the nude blushes are going to be more for coloring. If you remember in my Art of Blush video, that means it's going to be wide and on the side. Fairyland on this side, and Myth on this side. And start to tap, 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 tap. Wipe, 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 wipe. Now when you're doing this, it might seem a little difficult to get your brush in there. Just be patient. So that's Fairyland. Nice little nude blush, very warm toned. So on this side we're going to do Myth, which is a little cooler and a little pinker. I'm just going to flip it around. Put it here. This one I love. This one, I like them both, but I think of the two, if I had to pick a favorite, I would pick Myth. Just because it's got that color, that undertone that I like, that like mauvey. You've seen this color before, but not really, have you? This is why I love browns with different undertones, because you can use them as nude blushes. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you the same thing. Love it. Anyway, so there you have it. So, Fairy Tale, Myth. Here's Myth. It's got like a pinky-ish kind of brown. Okay, and then you boom. Then you have warmer Fairyland. Dun-dun. Then you have the buff. Two-tone. Two-faced. Back again. So now we're gonna move on to the very light ones, which is Forsee and Spells. These two extremely light characters, and we'll be right back with those. Say goodbye, Myth and Fairyland. Goodbye. So we're going to do Forsee on this side and Spells on this side. And they are very bright, so I took a small brush here, small powder brush. This one's actually better for this pan, but you know, with the wide application, I like to use a bigger brush. This is wrong. Okay, so with this, we're just going to get rid of some of that. We're just going to take the tiniest bit and I'm going to put it only in here. Like right here. So it reflects the shadow that's under there. This powder under the eye. Oop, 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 oop. Right? And then just to make sure it doesn't look too crazy, go over it with the leftover on your sponge. So then it's like that. Then I gave it a little lift. It's a little bright, a little dangerous, but I like it anyway. Just like in the smallest triangle right under your eye. Boom, boom, boom. and then like follow right here into the inner corner where your nose is, and it should be fine. Like the smallest bit, like the tiniest bit. It gives the illusion of brightness. Just make sure you go over it with this part, otherwise it just looks powdery. See the difference? Spells is a little different because it's like a bona fide color. It's very coral. And we're just going to take it and put it there. So it's just like the other one where I was talking about the light ones stay in the front of the face and under the eye. That Forsee, since it's like that really bright, like tan kind of caramel. It's not even caramel, it's really just, it's like a bright, like, peachy tan. It just stayed in a small triangle right here, like as close to the inner corner as possible. Like, you know how you do inner corner highlight? You can put that there like that, and then just leave it like that, so you see that. Boom! This is the coral, and so we're just going to kind of put it at the ball of the cheek. Beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 boop. This one has more color, so you can be a little more liberal. Okay. So once again, we're taking it into the front of the face. Not taking it too far down. It's kind of cute up there. When you smile and you're like, like if you smile, don't put it on the whole ball, just put it at the top half. And then we're going further on the eyeball. And then, once again, we'll just soften the edges a little bit. We don't need that much softening. So you have the inner corner kind of front of the face with Forsee, and then spells over here. And then Forsee. Okay? So, boom. Right at the front of the face, like bang, bang. I like spells a lot. I'm just going to put a little more under my eye. Spells is really cute. Anyway, moving on. Yay! And we're back. The last of the blushes. These two bright ones, not in tone, but bright in color. Princess and Hero. That's Princess and that's Hero. We're going to have to do these one at a time. I will be using a sponge. And we're going to start with Hero because I feel like that's going to be easier to take off of my face than Princess. Princess will be the last one. Ready? Boom. Stamp. Stamp. So with these kind of blushes, I love going all the way over. And we're just going to use the sponge itself to be like, ready? Right on the bridge of the nose. You notice like with this one, you stamp those two places because I want that's as far as I want it to go, and I want the most concentrate to be there, and then you kind of just spread it from there. This part should be colored but kind of shallow, and then the nose is also another prominent place, so it's more like boom, 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 and it's like sha, 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 sha. You know, like that. Woohoo! So, another, with these kind of blush, you can go across the face. Not that concerns you. You don't have to take it across your nose, but you can just use that stamp, and then bring it in like that. But I like it this way. I feel like across the nose gives it more character. If you have a lower nose bridge like I do, or even lower, it's especially cute. Moving forward. Alright, the last one is Princess, and we're going to use this guy again. Bing bing, hi! Princess, this is a neon color. Rudolph the red-nosed mouse. Put it on the chin. Put it here. Kind of going back and forth like this. Kind of helps sheer out the neon. It makes it look so pretty. That's why I like to use a brush. If you stamp it, you'll get more color. So it's like on the cheek, it's in between when you use a bright color and when you use a color for coloring. So it's not all the way at the side, but it's not all the way at the front either. There. Of course. And some on your ears. And the one on your forehead. To make sure it's not like too powdery because it's an eyeshadow. It's not really like a creamy blush, but okay. You just want to lightly tap it into the skin so you can kind of get your cohesion back, like your overall shine. Unless you're going to use some sort of setting spray, that'll probably help. But then you also pat that into the skin, or at least wave it down. Whatever. So that's Princess. So I just put it on points on the face because it's like a neon glow. So it's kind of like bing, 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 bing. Okay. Okay. So that's it for the blushes. So you've seen Fairyland, Myth, Spells, Forsee. Forsee is the most iffy one. You can honestly throw that one out if you like. It's like something where I really just wanted to use it in a different way. And I think it's alright for certain things. I think if you know how to use it like I showed you, or if you come up with a different way, it's actually very nice. It's also just nice as a base. But anyway, now we will be moving on to the highlights. Let me show you something with Princess. So like, I'm going to use Fable. And this I'll just use my finger. And put it in the places I put highlight, which is right here on the nose bridge. Just blend out the sides. So it's like that. And then just use it here. Just put it here. Why not? Let it play with Princess. Because I felt like these shimmers in this palette, they were smooth enough to be a highlight, to double as a highlight. Because, you know, because some shimmers, they're a little too gritty. Like the texture of the eyeshadow is really for eyeshadow purpose. It's a little too gritty to be a smooth highlight. But these weren't. I love that one. I love red or like pink highlights. Now we will do Charm. I'm going to do Charm on this side, Magic on this side, and then Wishbone on the nose bridge. Here's Charm. Whee! So it looks beige, but it's got the pink undertones. Oops. It didn't dry well. That one's got bigger chunks, bigger sparkle. See? It's got more sparkle than the others. So, I mean, like bigger sparkle chunks. So now on the other side, I will show you Magic. I'm going to use a sponge to help me move it around. It kind of makes like a champagne-y kind of golden veil, you know? That one's really pretty. Okay, see that? See? Ding! Right there. right there. Alright, and so now, the last but not least, Wishbone, which is orange with gold backing. Yum. Okay, there you go. Very striking. I love that. So that is Wishbone. Alright, so that was fun. So that's me and Little Fairy Tales by Moira. That's how I use it as a blush and highlighter palette. I hope you all enjoyed that. And I'll see you the next time around. Maybe not in front of this door, but somewhere. As a matter of fact, I have a couple more things that I've planned that will be in front of this door. So I feel like this is the thing. Like, you know it's Beauty in the Budget when you see that door, right? Or when you see the camera this close to my face. See you around.